Hello. Um, Here we are going for it again. So, yeah, I didn't get through my outpost phase last time, so we're going to go ahead and give it a go. Try and see if I can complete it this time. Um, I didn't give myself enough time. I tried to do my Marvel Snap, what do you call it, my time sync, and then that took too much time. And then I didn't have enough time to get the other thing done. I don't know if I would have got it done anyway, because I gave myself most of an hour. And probably a full hour, I would have got close. Or close. Probably only about 10 minutes. So maybe I'll be switching over. Maybe I can try another scenario. That's probably getting too aggressive. Getting too aggressive. Setup time and all that, probably not. So maybe I'll just do some painting. So anyway, um, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead. I'm just trying to get some couple of extra lights around here because it's a little dark in places. Things are not quite what I would like them to be, so I'm just trying to improve that a tad. And then hopefully. All right, so here we go. Last time we managed to get through the first couple of steps of the outpost phase, so got mostly done. But it turns out that both Royce and Adrian were going to level up, so I got to spend a few minutes trying to decide what cool cards they get to have. So they both reached level 5. Now, in terms of lifespan in Frosthaven, characters don't really get past level 9. 9 is kind of it. So these guys are halfway to their done state. Now, granted, they're nowhere near their strongest, but retirement is, probably five levels away. 5 scenarios, maybe. No, if it took us 11 to go 5, it's probably going to take another. It's going to take a little while, right? So we'll probably get to 11 or so here. So maybe another. So about level or scenario 22. Um, so we'll see. All right. Let's see what we get. Level 5. Now, interestingly enough, you're allowed to pick from all the cards from previous levels, but you still only get one card. So it's one sleeve. Now you get one card, but you don't actually get more abilities in each scenario. You get the same number of abilities all the time. Now every guy has his own number. In this case, Adrian and Royce both get 10 cards. That's it. That's forever. Um, so if you get 2 level 5s, you really like those level 5s, you won't be able to get the second level 5 until you hit level 6, in which case you would use the other 5 and instead of a 6. So every time you're kind of giving up on one of the other cards. Like right now, if I were to look at these 2 5s and go, but I really like the last 4 I got, I could put 4 in. So you're allowed to take one of any of the cards that you previously got and put them in. You're not replacing, it just goes, and then it becomes an option at the beginning of each scenario. So at the beginning of any given scenario, you get to pick the 10 cards you want. So you're just getting more choices of the 10 cards. Now, oftentimes that means you're going to be, getting rid of the ones, because the ones are mostly the weakest cards. I do still have some ones in my deck because, well, for one, you have quite a few of them, and you're slowly filtering those out, but not always. There are times when you're like, I don't know if I'm going to want that card. This particular scenario lends itself well to the cards I chose, and oftentimes it's just an option to not take it. So you've always got them, and usually you'll take the big ones because they're usually pretty powerful. So let's go ahead and see if I can show you my cards that I got. So the two new cards I got to look at. I'm going to make these guys stand back a little bit because I want to see if I can get this on the camera. And hopefully at least sort of in focus. We'll see. Should be right around there. So I don't know how clear that is. I can't. It don't look like it's clear. I tell you, these cameras, these web cameras, not great. So this is one of the cards I got. This is called Breakneck Speed, and the other one is called Finishing Flurry. This is Royce's options for adding to his deck. So what they are, Flashing Flurry, not Finishing Flurry, Flashing Flurry has obviously his two options are, he's got a fast and a slow option on the top, but not on the bottom. He does not have a fast and on the bottom it's just the same no matter what he does. But on the bottom he can gain a speed for each enemy he targets from the stun. He's got a, is that a stun? I think that's stun. Stun cannot perform ability or use or trigger items. Wow. Okay, so basically it's if he can get himself, or he happens to get himself into a crowd where he's surrounded by a bunch of guys, he can target everybody who's in a range of 1. Now there's no movement on this, so you have to find another way to move. But if you can, if for some reason like a bunch of guys come up on you and surround you, you can do this stun, and you'll gain speed for every enemy it targeted. So if you got like 4 guys who came up on you, which is bad, you probably took a beating when that happened. if that's how all these guys ended up next to you, you probably took a beating. But Royce can then stun them all and gain a speed for everybody. So if he happens to get 2, 3, 4, 5 guys, he's going to gain speed. So that's a really good way to gain speed in the desperate situation that you're probably in. Also, Flashing Fury, his basic attack, or the attack on that, is 3 damage. Just a melee 3. But he can burn any of the power-ups, the elemental power-ups, for an extra damage. Which means if your enemy is powering up something, or your other guys power up something, suddenly that becomes, everything becomes useful to Flashing Fury. He can burn it. He's also got the ability, he can attack 2 adjacent guys with that. Just has to subtract 1 damage to each attack. So it might be 3 plus 1 is 4, but with the 2 attacks, he'd only get 3 on each of them. His speed option allows him to increase his targets at a range of 3. Wow. So basically, he can turn it into a ranged attack and hit 2 targets at a range of 3, plus get an XP. That's really good. That's a good card. All right, so let's see. Breakneck Speed. Now, this is another one of those that you have to burn perma. In other words, you use it once, it sits there, and it's only good until you fill the four circles. This one is the Breakneck Speed. I can't read it while I'm showing it to you because I can't tell. And that's almost readable there. Almost. Sorry. On the start of the next 4 rounds, during which you are not performing a long rest, suffer 2 damage and play 3 cards instead of 2. Using 1 card as initiative, at least 1 top and 1 bottom action must still be performed. Wow. 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 On the start of your next 4 rounds, during which you are not performing a long rest, suffer 2 damage and play 3 cards instead of 2. Using 1 card as initiative, at least 1 top and 1 bottom action. So basically, you can do two bottoms or two tops. That means you can do a move. You can do maybe one of those move cards like that previous one I mentioned that will let you move into an area. You can do that 4 times on the start of your next 4 rounds. Oh wow, but that's dangerous. 4 rounds. You're going to be taking 2 damage at the start of every one of your next 4 rounds. Now, granted, you're going to get some extra moves and actions, and hopefully it's devastating to the opposition. But if it's not, you could get yourself pretty beat up in that. That said, the bottom half of this is a teleport. So, a 5-space teleport. That's pretty cool too. It's nice for jumping in, getting places. Like in the last scenario that we were just in, that would have been nice because I could have jumped across the board and just been where I wanted to and brought those robots where I needed them to go. But if you're moving slow when you do that, you damage yourself for 2. So this is a very self-damaging card. It's got potential for what it can do, but that's a lot of damagey stuff. Temptation could be the death of you. Is it strong? It takes a card out of your hand. You're playing 3 cards. You're playing 3 cards instead of 2, which means you're burning through your cards faster because you're going to have to discard those 3 cards. So you're basically taking this card out of play permanently because it's going to go into the lost cards once it burns up. You're going to take 2 damage every round in the next 4, and you're going to be burning 3 cards, which instead of 2 means you're going to lose extra turns. So the idea is that you're going to do more faster, but you're going to really accelerate, your demise. So you better do a lot of damage because you're going to run out of cards really fast. And if you do that late, you probably don't have that many cards, so you're going to burn through your turns really quickly. So it could be good if you're willing to take that risk. I mean, an extra shot means maybe 2, maybe 3. It could be 2 or 3 extra attacks depending on how your cards are set up. You could be going out whack, 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 and you're just zipping around, smacking everything, potentially killing a lot of things. Or if there's a boss guy, you get 3 shots on him. With your twin strike, plus maybe one of those. You can maybe put a card in that has a bottom attack on it. So you have a bottom attack, 2 top attacks, and maybe a 3rd top attack. So you got to do a bottom attack. If you did twin strike and what is it? The other one that's kind of like twin strike. Of course, the bad thing about that is you would be losing a lot of turns. But cascading reaction, you would essentially get 5 attacks. 5 attacks in 1 turn. Now, great, cascading reaction is a lost card, but you would wound them, you put 5 actions out, you just wreck a whole board of guys. But you're probably almost out of cards at that point, and you're going to be near death. So it works good in a crowd, not so good maybe in a long battle, because you may never want to use that card, and it would sit there. So you have to know when to use that card. Potentially great, dangerous. Flashing Flurry, on the other hand, very strong card, lots of damage potential. But is it better than all the other cards that you passed up? Well, let me see. That I passed up. I guess it's not you, it's me that passed these up. The last 4 was add a +1 damage to all your attacks while slow. That's actually not bad, but how many attacks are you making when you're slow? That's the top half of the card. So you don't have a lot of attacks. Oh, it's one of those that sits on. Oh, that's a lost card. So if you go slow, you put it up. It's a permatop. Problem with a lot of permatop cards is more cards that you don't get to use. So it's one of those that you try to play late. You can only have so many of those in play. If you put 2 or 3 of those cards in play, that's 2 or 3 cards you have lost from being able to do anything. So those are rough cards to play. Reckless Augmentation at speed gives you 1 damage and XP, but you do 5 damage with 1 piercing at speed. If you're going slow, it doesn't hurt you, just does 3 damage, which is a decent attack. And it's a fast card, 10 initiative. Royce doesn't have that many, as a Blink Blade does not have that many very fast initiative cards. It's also got a 3 movement and a couple more speed things involved on it for a level 2. You do 1 damage to yourself. There's a lot of this is damage to yourself if you're going fast. It just gives you an XP for 1 damage. So basically both top and bottom are going to damage you and give you an XP. But then you'll get a shield or ward, which I believe ward halves the next attack's damage. Yeah, rounded down. And then the 3-cost card I didn't take last time is another double hit. If you're going slow, it's a 2 damage on the first, 2 damage on the second, and you get a move if you're going fast. Move with an XP. The bottom half is on your next 3 turns while fast, trigger all fast effects twice. Wow. You know, I really like that one. For one, it's another double hit card. It's potentially as much as 5 damage. If you're going fast, it's 5 damage. You don't really take too much risk on that. It's 5 damage. Can give you some movement to go with it, XP, and if you're going fast, you can trigger fast effects 2 times for the next 3 times if you choose to use the long burn. Man, that's a level 3 card that I passed up last time. So now the question is, how much better are these level 5s? Well, both of them have a part on them that is a lost card, which means the card's gone for good. One of them has a pile of damage on it. The other one has no real damage to yourself. Flashing Fury is really cool, but I really like that triggering fast cards. Man, I'm tempted to not take a fast. Because, man, that level 3 card is nice. Now that I've played him enough times, I'm of the feeling that maybe, just maybe, I take double time. It's a lot of damage. A hit for 3 and a hit for 2, plus a move. It's kind of like... Now, in conjunction, can you imagine having that in play and Breakneck Speed's 3-card move? You could totally trash somebody with a 3. Getting that 3-card and Breakneck Speed going. If you had, now granted, that's 2 lost cards sitting at the top of your deck, but you would double your speed actions. You're gonna get a bunch of speed actions. You're just gonna trounce through everything. Yeah, that's a pretty cool thing. But you know what? That sounds, for all that good that sounds, it's either double time or flashing flurry. I'm not taking breakneck speed. That's just too much self damage, too much risk to use. I'm not a fan. He's an okay healthy guy, but not so much that I feel I want to take 2 damage for 4 straight turns. Man, so it's flashing flurry or double time. Double time is actually a level 3 card, but it is just really good. I like the double attack, the 5 damage. and even the potential of using your fast effects twice. Alright, let's do it. I'm going to take Flash Flurry. I'm going to take the level 5 card. We'll see how it goes. I really like that double time because of the 5 damage. This is, I mean, really think about it. This Flashing Flurry is going to do 4, potentially to 2 attack. It's going to do 3 to 2 people. Or maybe even as much as 5 to 3, 4. Oh, 4 to 2 people at 3 range. That's pretty good. I gotta try it. Alright. So there you go. There's Royce's. There's the decisions I made for Royce. Let's go see what Adrian has brewing, huh? What cool features does Adrian get a gain or do and maybe become even more useful? Her biggest problem right now is movement, and her. It's a tough. She's a tough character to play with 2 players because she really benefits from having lots of allies, lots of people she can get in position with, coordinate with, and without that functionality, not having all the allies in play, she really struggles to be beneficial in 2-player. So I'm it's a little disappointing. I like her. I like her premise, but it's just. I mean, granted, her best thing is to summon, right? Summon a guy, do the attack. That's really what it is. Summon a guy, do the attack. Summon a banner, summon her falcon, whatever it is. Summon them and do an attack. Because you put them where you want them and then you attack. But the thing is, they're not always that useful, and the attack might not be the killer knockout blow you're hoping for. And plus, you need to get into position. And there's been all too many situations where that's half the battle, right? You have to get yourself. You have to move yourself, and there aren't any summons that come with move, at least not yet. Let's go find out what Adrian gets. All right, Adrian, what are your options? All right. Let's see what Adrian has. Now she gets her level 5. Now I really want to play Tenya and Cressa, so I'll probably take one of them on the next mission. So that'll be a level 5 and a level whatever they are, 1 or 2. Got to get them going a little bit too, see some of their cool abilities. All right, level 5. And then we got 4, 3, and 2, just like all of them. So in every case, I've never taken a previous card. I almost did there. I was this close to taking the level 3 over the level 5s. Because that level 3 is cool. Because it's 2 attacks, and yeah, it's a lot of potential there. But let's go see what Adrian's options are. We got this new one, Explosive Epicenter. This guy here. Sorry. No good focus involved. I don't know. Anyway. What that one states is, holy moly. Now you don't have to have, these red X's refer to how many enemies can be around you, and you can hit them all if you and at least one ally are in the middle of all of that. But if you only have 2 or 3 or anything like that, you can hit them as long as they are in those positions. So essentially, you just need to be next to an ally, and then you can smack them. Now you have to be in this exact situation, but it's just flip it over, right? So left or right doesn't matter. It's just kind of where you are in relation to those enemies. It's 3 damage with push away of 1. Grant the ally in the blue hex of the attack ability. Oh, I'm sorry, you're the gray one. Grant the ally in the blue hex of the attack ability and self 1 movement. Oh, okay. So you get to do 3 damage, push away all these 6 guys, or as many as fill those squares, and then your guys can move 1 each. But it's after, so you can only move after you've attacked. So you can kind of reshift. If you're actually in a mess of creatures like that, you can get the heck out of dodge. So that's actually really nice. It's got a huge potential for hitting a lot of guys if you and an ally are close together. Once per turn, the bottom half is once per turn on your turn, while an enemy is within a range of 3, grant 1 adjacent ally and self a movement. Once per turn on your turn. Oh, it's a perma. Oh, okay. So you put it in play. It's worth 2 XP, and every turn, while an enemy is within 3, grant 1 adjacent ally and self a move. That's kind of nice. That's giving everybody an ability and movement just by putting that in play. That is a good way to help improve his situation. Now, it is only 1. So it ain't going to get you over rough terrain unless you've got some kind of boots of flying or something. But ultimately, it does kind of help with your ability to move some. And you can maybe even shift an ally 1 space to kind of help you out. So, and when you do that, you are allowed to move them anywhere you want. When you give them a movement of 1, it's your choice. Now, the other card has all kinds of defensive junk on it. This is called Hold the Line. You can see both top and bottom have defensive stuff. The top is 2 shield, and all adjacent allies get 2 shield. For the rest of this round is what that's well. For the rest of the round, so it makes sense because it wouldn't be any good if it's just on your turn. But so yeah, till the end of the round. And you move fast, it's a 5. So basically, at the beginning, you just basically say, oh, you know what? I don't like the situation we're in. I'm going to shield everybody. Additionally, you've got the option of taking the bottom half, moving 3, shielding 2, and giving yourself a retaliate 3. So the nice thing about retaliate is there's no defending it. I believe if somebody smacks you with retaliate, you just take it. There's no shielding, no defense, no anything that goes good. Nothing that works with retaliate. Yeah, they just suffer the damage. So it's a way to punch through, and it's kind of nice. You can move 3 right into the crowd, put up your shield, and give them a retaliate 3. Whether they hit you or not, you don't even have to take damage, I don't think. Yeah. It's just if they hit you, they attack you, your shields are up, and they smack, they take damage. And 3 damage is a big hit, especially if you're just standing there. So these are both reasonable cards. Whoa, man, these are both good cards. One is very defensive and one is very offensive. I like getting that free move if Alright. Now, how often are you standing next to one of your allies? Well, in the case of only 2 people, not often. Royce is almost never near Adrian. So Adrian would probably be the closest one. The only one who'd ever get a move on that. Grant 1 adjacent ally and self 1. I don't think you're required to have an adjacent ally. Just you can give yourself just 1. But it's you getting 1 and then an adjacent ally. You also get 1 movement. So there are some cards here that are starting to offer up some movement options. I do need movement options. I do like that card for giving yourself that extra step. I also like the explosive blast that you could really do. You can hit up to 6 guys if you're willing to get into the crowd. 3 damage each. But ultimately, I actually think hold the line might be the better plan. The ability to move into a crowd, positioning for whatever, and putting up a shield and giving yourself to retaliate for anybody who smacks you is almost as good as uh, hitting somebody. Now, granted, it only lasts till the end of turn, and if when you do that, it's gone, but it's really good. And otherwise, if you're not using it, that you can just keep shielding you and your buddies with the top one. Oh, at least yourself, and if anybody's nearby. Again, Adrian benefits most from having lots of allies, and hopefully at least one or two of them sticks around and stays close. So Royce, not a great ally for Adrian and her abilities. Now, her working with Cressith or Tenya, both of them have their own summons and things that they do that doesn't really require them to run into battle. So sometimes, in that case, Royce or Adrian could really benefit from having one of her teammates next to her, and providing shields for them could be very good, as long as they stick together. Now, of course, if somebody's doing like a multi-attack when you're standing next to your friends, not so good. And it is another 5, giving you really fast movement options. Let's see what I passed up on. I'm gonna stick. I'm right now. I'd say I'm leaning towards hold the line with that extra defense. I really like that retaliate option if you're in a group, but shielding both you and an ally for +2 is a pretty nice thing. It makes her very defensive though, and takes away some attack power. Being able to attack attack a boatload of people in a crowd is pretty nice. I mean, six guys surrounding you, which does happen. Had it a lot with 2 players. You get a lot of the surrounding nonsense. All right, so I have Meat Grinder, which I passed on, which is a level 2 card. That's if you have one ally in front, one ally in back of a couple guys. You can do 4 damage and wound them both. And there's a level 3 here, where again, if you have an ally next to you, you can do 2 damage to 3 guys, and poison them all, and heal 2. The ally who's with you, target the ally and the blue hex, the attack ability, and self. So basically, you can give you and that ally who are in there an extra health too. And it gives you another summon, which is always fun. Banner of Courage. All adjacent allies gain a shield. All adjacent allies gain a shield. See, that's another problem. You have to keep... The thing doesn't move. So you've got this banner. You've got to, like, keep near you somehow, because it's only adjacent allies. It doesn't do anything else. It's got 7 health. As far as banners go, that's really weak. With no movement, and they have to be adjacent. I'm trying to figure out how. Man, it's like every turn you can't move away from your banner, not even a little bit, or the shield's gone. That's really rough. I don't see. I mean, with no range on that. Yeah, I don't see how that's... Really, the big thing there is if you're just going to stand in place. If you're in a position where you can stand in place, which I have not seen very many scenarios where that's an option, where you cast this thing and just sit there and just let guys come at you, and you're going to throw up this banner and just try to defend yourself. It does have 7 health, so it takes a while to knock it out. You and your buddy are just going to stand there and try to take the onslaught. See, it's called Let Them Come. That's what its point is. It's for standing your ground. It's a good one, but I don't know. Let's see what the 4th one was. Level 4 one that I passed up last time. 4 damage. One enemy in the red hexes basically loses his weapon, gets disarmed. Oh, and you need 2 allies on that. Oh yeah, I'm never gonna have that. Again, good card for Good card for big crowds, but not good for this. So we're definitely not doing that. If you have lots of allies and friends, like you're playing a 4-person thing, and yeah, you guys want to work together, that works. Again, Banner Spear, great for big parties. Not great for small ones. So you got to really work on ways to make him strong by himself, or by herself in this case. The meat grinder is not too bad because Royce does tend to run off. So she can run up kind of like behind something and say, hey buddy, you just got smacked by my friend on your other side, but I'm coming up behind you and I'm going to smack you for 4 more and I'm going to wound you. I'm tempted on the meat grinder, but what's weird, it feels weird to take a level 2 card. So just in that alone, it's a little weird to, it's just, I don't know very many of the scenarios. I haven't ran into many scenarios where you just stand in place. There may be some. I just haven't come across it yet. Maybe someday I'll be like, oh, I gotta take that card. Hold the line is kind of like let them come. It's just defensive, but you also get some damage if you play the retaliate. It's no healing, and there's no attack. It's the only drawback with the hold the line. Sometimes you just need attack options. But if you take one of these that requires an ally and you can't get the ally there, your options are pretty much don't attack or do a basic 2 attack. Nothing special. So you lose the benefit of the power. Now with hold the line, you have the basic 2 attack and you don't need your allies nearby. You could just give yourself 2 shield. Call it good. Call it a day. Move some other way, or just use it for bottom movement. It is a 5, gives you high initiative. I'm thinking Adrian and Royce may have to start splitting up more, partying up with their friends, Tenya and Cresseth. This will allow them to maybe benefit each other differently. You know, start taking advantage of parties that work with them better. Wow. That might be really weird. I feel weird taking a level 2 card. Maybe because I'm not fully seeing it. The 2 shield is really, could be really good lifesaver. I'm going to take hold the line. I'm thinking if I'm going to have Adrian really do this, she's got a lot of ways to keep herself protected and shielded, and she can really be a meat, a meat shield for her friends like Cresseth and Tenya. Can't do much for Royce, who runs off and just does his own thing half the time. But for those 2 characters, she could be a lot of help, and this could be the magic bullet. So keep those guys alive because they have very little life. They got some abilities that are kind of cool, but their life is terrible. Terrible. You got like 6. Now, if they level up a little bit, I got to get them leveled. They'll start being less squishy. But now remember, the next time I do a scenario, I'm going to do it at full solo variant difficulty. So whether that be with these guys or with just Senya and Cresseth, we'll see. And then if I lose, I'll drop it back down. Because again, I'm not going to keep playing scenarios like I did before where I just keep trying. I played it the hardest at the beginning. Now, I used to think there's 2 times to do it. You play the hardest once. You're not the hardest, but you play the according to the solo variant rules 2 times. If you lose the first time, you now know how to play the scenario, and you say, all right, I kind of get it, how it works. I'm going to switch up my cards, pick a better combo of cards, I think, and then I'm going to fight. And then hopefully that ends up you getting the upper hand. At least you'll have a chance to see if you can still get through it knowing what you're up against. and having picture cards. Because most of the time it's just like, I have no idea what this scenario is. I'm just going to go in there with my deck as it is and see what happens. And sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't, but ultimately, you know, you're saying, eh. So then you get a second chance. Same difficulty, but you do it with slightly triggered cards. You tweak them, you adjust them, you try to change your game plan a little bit, knowing what you're up against, and you go in there. Plus, you won't have any of the nonsense wounds that you get to start the round. The third time, if you lose twice, that's when you lower it. You just say, okay, I tried. I'm lowering the difficulty. Let's get out of here. Hopefully you win on that turn. It was looking a little precarious with this last one. I mean, for a minute there, I was like, I don't know. I'm kind of getting close. They had me trapped in the corner. I wasn't making any getaway, but then we broke out and managed to do the job. But there is still a chance of losing, even at the more lower levels. But so far, so good. I haven't lost at a lower level than recommended. And in this case, it wasn't lower than recommended for 2 players. It was just lower than recommended for solo 2 players. Because they upped the difficulty with solo because you have perfect knowledge. You know everything about your 2 guys, and they work with each other, and you coordinate attacks, and you can't necessarily do that otherwise. Okay, so we're done with the leveling up, I think. Well, we're done with that part of it. I don't think there's anything else. I like in the wrong place. Oh, here we go. Outpost phase. Okay, we did level up. We did our perks. Oh wait, does leveling up increase hit points? Gain a perk mark. Oh, they get another perk mark. That's a thing. That's a thing that'll take some time because I'm a poor decision maker. So another perk mark. So they both got a perk from their fight, and now they're getting a perk from leveling up. That's good. So Adrian has already got rid of all of her -1 cards. Replaced them with shield rollers. I call them rollers, the ones that continue giving you a new card. I could add 2 heal thyselfs and a roller. Well, with all that, she is just really getting she's got defense going, and she's got heal going. At the end of each of your, she just doesn't take long rest that often. Maybe I should more often, but it's just movement. Don't care. Whenever you open a door with the move ability, add +3 to your movement. I bet 1 iron. Trying to look at this note I have on here. 1 iron and 1 pelt. It looks like it said belt. Boy, I don't know how to spell, man. And 1 belt on the next scenario. I don't know what that means. I mean, there was a card that let me bet, but what was the card that mattered on? That was something I did a long time ago. So yeah, I don't know what that was. Okay, let's finish figuring out her card. I'll have to see what this has done. I did win. Find payment. If I even figure out what that says, find payment. Okay. Add +1 card. Add +2. just adding more cards. Like I said, Adrian is just getting loads of cards in her deck. I can replace a 0 with a +1, add +1 for each ally adjacent. So it's potentially more, but again, great for lots of allies. Not so great for one, since I'm only ever going to get +1 out of it. Maybe +2 if I happen to have my bird or one of the banners out. To be honest, she's running out of cool things to do. How about +1 and disarm? I don't know, add 1 +2. And a push card. You know, I should probably add the +2s. I mean, they are big damage. Alright, so +2 push card. Let's put that in there. There is one more get rid of a 0 also. Maybe I should do that. What's a better turnout? Adding one card or leaving or removing a bad card? Mathematically speaking, your odds of getting, if you add a card, your odds of getting the lesser card are less, right? But it's not eliminated simply because it's still there. If you get rid of the bad card, 0 is bad in that it's not going to be any damage. The other option is, the other one's a +1. Not as much damage, but it does potentially have the same amount of damage if you get it, if you have an ally nearby, and you get rid of the 0. Maybe I'll do that one instead. I think mathematically, theoretically, that's a better outcome. You basically eliminate the possibility of that 0 card, and you have potential of a 2 damage. And potential of a 2 damage and at least a 1 is pretty good. Add +1 for each adjacent target. Or for each ally adjacent to the target. So now I gotta find a 0, +0. Does he have any more +0s? Oh yeah, still has a +0. I actually got a lot of, considering I replaced 3 -1s, at least I should have replaced 3 -1s. I'm still seeing a lot of junk. I mean, he's still got 3 -1s, even after replacing 3. I have one more card that can replace a -1 or take one out. But other than that, I've still got 2. I guess 2. Can't get. Apparently, she's not able to get rid of them. She's not able to get rid of a -2, so her -2 will always be there. Now there is a point at which you start getting to add these little bonus perks. They're like extra bonusy. Let's see, there should be 3 -1s in here. Okay, how come I'm only seeing 2? Because I should have 2 0s. I'm just checking on the cards. Okay, there's the third -1. Oh wait, 2 0s and 3 -1s. Alright, well there they are. 2 0s and 3 -1s. And then the other ones are just add cards. So her thing is she slowly waters down the bad cards, not I don't have this one. Don't have that one. I don't have that one. But she does have these 2 mastery things. Well, the masteries didn't really give her any ability. They just gave her new perks. So by getting the masteries, you just got new perks. I'm keeping these curses around because sometimes I need curses and I don't want to dig them out of the box. That's basically why. Just throw them in there with them because they sometimes get cursed. It's actually more common than you think. Plenty of bad guys out there cursing you, trying to throw crap in your deck. Alright. Alright, so she's done that. She gained her perk. Increase hit points is really not increase hit points. I mean, yes, my hit points went from, wow, 150 to 210. No, I'm sorry. That's XP. What is her new hit points? Her new hit points went from 4 to 5, so she gained 2. She went from 16 to 18. Now, the one thing I didn't do is there was a new item that Royce got, and Adrian, I hadn't decided if it was Royce or Adrian going to get it, because it's a healing thing. Really putting the onus on Adrian to be the healer. She's starting to become my cleric. I like to put these little cheat sheets, these guys in my Alright, so I've already done the level up. Retire a character. Well, nobody's retiring. I don't need to create a character right now. Brew a potion. I kind of got out of order. I did that. Sell items, purchase items. Construction. Do I want to construct? Let's see if there's anything I can construct. Actually, I think construction. No, never mind. I was thinking it was what I did with that one guy, but that's not what it was. That was just that was my buy, purchase, whatever you want to call it. I did like the idea of getting another summon, but it was just a banner. I have the 2 cool ones, the bird and the torchbearer. They're only cool because I get to play with a miniature, a cool miniature. And I do like the banners that I have, but they're just tokens. I did order, like I said, the Frosthaven character, hero character stuff. You know, did I do something out of order? No, I go. Construction is the last thing. Okay. After the downtime steps, build. To build an unlocked building, the party must pay its build cost, which is shown in the building load stickers. Okay, so this comes down to what my prosperity levels are. So building walls, building defenses. I'm starting to feel like that's becoming a priority that I need to stop skipping. I need to stop skipping my building defenses. Now I can try to upgrade my barracks. What is the barracks upgrade option here? My current barracks are level 2. So level 3 barracks has a capacity of 8. Oh, and a soldier. Man, can I even build that? I might not be able to build that. Oh, upgrade. What is the? Oh, let's see. What's the upgrade? Nope. Building your barracks up must be an event of some kind because I don't actually have upgrade capability on that. It doesn't come with that. So alright, so we're not doing barracks. Alchemist, craftsman. I guess I could try the craftsman. See what new items a craftsman can do. But also getting my, actually, you know what? I think I need to get more stuff. I'm not really getting that much stuff. With 2 characters and lots of loot, it's just hard to pick up all the loot. I need to start upping what I can do in camp, like mining. I can buy more iron, and if I start upgrading those things. But I said I wanted to upgrade my defenses, my town defenses, because I lost twice last time. Got a couple things bashed up. So I'm a little under pressure to actually build some stuff. Now, is upgrading the cost that's on the card? No, it's already upgrade. Okay, so these guys, I can't even. Which one? What can I upgrade? All right, I'm not even prosperity level 3 yet, so I'm still 2. Do any of these? Can I even upgrade any of these? Ah, no, I can't even upgrade any of these. I'm not even to level 3 yet. I'm only at 2. Well, I'll be a donk donk. Well, guess my only option is maybe a wall. Assuming I can build a wall. Is that even an option? Am I even allowed to build a wall at this point? Huh. Well, guess I'm not doing those. Alright, what do the walls say? What sound does a wall make? A 4, a 3, and a 6. I can't upgrade anything. Well, that's bummer. Prosperity level 3. Huh. I'm still 3 notches away from a 3. Well, I'll be a noodle. Yeah. Well, there you go. I guess that's it. I guess I don't get to build anything. That feels like a lost option. I didn't do something right. I feel like you should be able to build something every time, and three prosperity. Did I do something wrong? Maybe. Did I skip something or miss something? Possibly. Possibly. But when I get to 3, I should be able to upgrade a lot of stuff, but it's going to take a number of turns to do it. What I do need to do is figure out what Royce's bet was. I got to go look at some of my recent Outpost events and see if I can figure out, I think, what it is. Recent ones, if I have it still. No, that's not it. I really don't know how that bet went down. I'm like, I don't know, man. I don't know how I ended up with that bet, but active summer road events. And these, I don't want to look at them. I just want to see the one that I may have made a bet on. I don't know, maybe I have to meet him? Or meet the card that had that? I don't know. Said I bet. I don't know what I bet and why I bet it. I mean, I know what I bet. I just don't know what the conditions of the bet were. So yeah, and I need to get morale. If I did the outpost, I did the win. And there were repairs. I didn't upgrade anything, so I don't get any of that. I probably should do some of these side missions on these. I'm trying to I feel like maybe I may have missed a prosperity or a morale thing. But seeing as I lost, it's quite possible I did not. Hmm. Halfway. Trying to see if I can figure out. Nope, I don't know. Don't know, but I don't want to be reading these because I'm not supposed to. So whatever I missed, hopefully it's not too serious. It's maybe delayed me slightly in my progression, but that's it. I think I'm done. We're all done with the outpost phase. We've built what we can. We've leveled. We've got ourselves ready. Next time we move on to adventures. Adventures in the great beyond of Frosthaven. Until then, you take it easy.